I'm Trinity. I'm here to speak on behalf of Assemblymember DeMaio on the issues impacting homeowners across California, the skyrocketing cost of home insurance, the wave of policy cancellations, and the looming threat to the housing market that we have. This is a crisis, and if we don't take immediate action like our Assembly member is doing right now up in Sacramento, then millions of Californians will be left without coverage, jeopardizing not just individual homeowners, but the stability of our entire economy. For years, Carl, our Assembly member, has been sounding the alarm on this issue and on the state's collapsing fire insurance market. Yet, instead of taking action to protect homeowners, a lot of our leaders right now have allowed the problem to escalate. Insurers are fleeing the state, premiums are skyrocketing, and thousands of homeowners are being forced into the last resort FAIR plan, a system that was never designed to sustain this many policies and is now on the verge of collapse. Some politicians claim this is a consequence of climate change, but the truth is far more simpler than that, and more frustrating. This crisis is a direct result of failed policies, excessive regulation, and a refusal to take common sense steps to manage wildfire risks. Right now, California is spending nearly $9 billion a year fighting wildfires, yet only $200 million is on prevention. That means for every dollar that we are trying to spend on stopping wildfires before they happen, we are spending $50 reacting to disasters that could have been avoided. Other fire-prone areas, as we've seen, like Arizona and Florida, have invested in prevention, like clearing hazardous vegetation, thinning forests, and using controlled burns to reduce fuel or fires. But here in California, our endless bureaucratic red tapes have blocked even the most basic wildfire prevention, as we've seen already up in Los Angeles. We have homeowners who want to clear brush around their properties but are met with regulatory roadblocks, and the state's priorities have been completely backwards, as we've seen. At the same time, insurers are forced to use outdated risk models that don't reflect real-time wildfire threats, making it impossible for them to set fair prices. And without the ability to adjust rates based on actual risks, insurers are simply pulled out of the market. The result? Homeowners are left with fewer options, higher costs, and unsustainable reliance on the FAIR plan. This crisis isn't just affecting our homeowners in fire-prone areas, but it's affecting homeowners everywhere. When homes become uninsurable, property values drop, home loans become harder to secure, and the entire housing market is at risk. The cost of the crisis will not be limited to fire zones. It will be felt by every homeowner in California. And our Assembly member refuses to stand by California or Sacramento's failed policies, which is why he's implementing legislation now and a plan so that we can avoid what happened in Los Angeles to happen here. First, California has to completely overhaul its approach to wildfire prevention, which is something he wants to implement, which means removing the bureaucratic red tape and roadblocks, which is preventing controlled burns, thinning overgrown forests, and clearing hazardous vegetation before it becomes a fuel source for massive wildfires. We also need to reform California's broken insurance system by allowing insurers to use real-time wildfire risk models so they can fairly assess coverage. Homeowners who invest in fireproofing your property should be rewarded with lower premiums. At the same time, we need to attract new insurers to California to increase competition and drive down costs. Finally, we have to stabilize the FAIR plan before it collapses entirely. This program was never intended to serve a primary insurance option, but right now it's being forced to do just that. And our Assembly member DeMaio is working on legislation that will strengthen its financial stability while creating incentives to bring private insurers back to our state and into the market, giving homeowners not just more choices, but lower costs. Beyond these state-level solutions, we have to also recognize the need for intervention. With inflation and soaring construction costs putting even more pressure on the insurance market, Carl DeMaio is calling for a national reinsurance stabilization program to mitigate risks and prevent further market collapse. And we can't afford to wait. This is not a partisan issue. This is about protecting homeowners, stabilizing our housing market, and making sure California remains a place where families can afford to live and thrive. So if you or anybody you know is dealing with insurance issues, whether it be a state, local, federal issue, come to our office. It's not your job to know how government should work. It's our job to show you how it should work. And so you can always go to our website, DeMaioAssembly.org. You can put in a case and we will help you instantly in resolving whatever it is, not just fire insurance, but anything that comes across your home and your family. And so we're here to listen to you, to advocate for you, and that's where we are as your State Assembly office.